Hey guys, this is Arnold98 and we are going from The Last Night all the way back to Revenge of the Fallen, if you guys remember that movie. And here is Megatron from that movie. And this is my last day at home for fall break. I was going to do some kind of vlog, but I always do that when I come back home, and I figured I could just work on him instead. And you did see this guy at the end of my Brick Fair video, the little prototype, and also during my first Instagram live stream, which is pretty fun. And yeah, I did start working on him at Brick Fair once I got a bunch of tread parts at the yard sale. And in addition, I guess you could say I was inspired by a mini Revenge of the Fallen Megatron made by my good friend Dominic, also known as Psycho Brick. And I'd like to give a shout out to him. Yeah, we're pretty good friends now after meeting each other at Brick Fair, and yeah, I gave him a shout out previously for my Brick Fair video, but since then he's made a lot of these mini Transformers, like from the movies, and like what I do but smaller, and also some Marvel and DC builds. And yeah, you should definitely check him out if you haven't. And in addition, he also has instructions for a few of them, which are easier, simpler, take less parts than my big and complex Transformers. So if you don't have enough parts to build mine, you could always make his. And yeah, definitely check him out. I put his the link to his channel in the description. Yeah, anyways, I gotta say, Revenge of the Fallen Megatron is my favorite Megatron design from the movies. Something about it just so like iconic. He's like monstrous proportions, and like, I don't know, just really iconic. If someone were to say Megatron to me, the first thing that would pop up into my mind would probably be this guy or the G1 version. Like, I don't know, I feel like this guy is like my definitive like favorite movie Megatron. And here he is in his Cybertronian tank mode. This thing is a big mess. Yeah, obviously you could tell I did sacrifice a lot. The actual tank looks pretty cool, and I think I did a fairly good job. The big problem with the tank mode is that he goes from an asymmetric robot into a symmetric tank, just like the Last Night Megatron, well, with a jet. But this time it's much more obvious, and yeah, both the toys pull the tank mode off pretty well. The Leader toy does that because it's pretty inaccurate, and the Voyager toy does that because it has a huge like backpack shell that conceals everything. So I had no choice to have make everything a little messy. See his shoulders stick out here, and the iconic features are there, like the tank barrel, and of course he has his head sticking out here and a little roll cage, which is pretty iconic. I think that's a cool idea though, even though people think it's really dumb. And here's the bottom. It's pretty nice and compact. All the robot stuff's up here, obviously. And of course, so you could technically say Revenge of the Fallen Megatron is a triple changer, and none of the toys were able to show it off, but he is. I definitely incorporated this into him. In the movie, he goes from a tank to a flying tank. He just grows wings. So for the front pair of wings, you fold this section back, rotate this, put it back into its place. And the same for the other side. Yeah, technically it's not officially a triple changer. It's up to debate. I don't want to talk about it too much. And the back wings, they extend out from here. And this wing tip folds out. His almost probably one of the most functional of all the movie Megatron's alt modes. Goes from a heavy tank into a flying tank capable of interstellar travel. Yeah, there you go. Here's his third mode, his flying tank mode. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just a tank with wings, and yeah, he even got all the thrusters. You got the two here and the two main ones here. You could open these up, they kind of represent little brakes or something, and you can hold them right here. You hold together really well. It's the flying tank, really cool. And yes, he rolls very nicely, which is a feature I wish the toys had. Rolling treads are always cool. And for a size comparison, here we have his Revenge of the Fallen buddies. We have Scalpel and Ravage. You can kind of make his resurrection scene. Well, you need the Constructicons. And you have a minifigure. I don't know if minifigures he are or not, honestly. And most importantly, we have his toy, which I got recently. This is a movie The Best Megatron. I highly recommend this figure. This is probably my favorite Megatron toy I currently have. And as you can see, this thing is much sleeker and definitely more capable of space travel than this thing, which is kind of messy. Well, you'll see why. Yeah, so I folded up his little wings back into his tank mode, and now we're ready for transformation. Transformation is a very cool fusion of like the leader and the Voyager class toys transformation, because just to make them as accurate as possible. And to start, first you gotta take this whole top section off, and then you gotta just kind of peel away here. Of course, these are the arms. It's kind of obvious. I couldn't hide it too well. You rotate this out, deal with it later. And you take these roll cage pieces that go around his head and fold them back for now. And you can take the jet thrusters and wingtips and fold them up like that. Now coming to here, you can fold these sections down to form the rear parts of his legs. You know how he all transforms. And you fold this section up, put it back down, or you just rotate it like this. Yeah, it looks kind of messy. Get better than that. And next you gotta take the thrusters, fold them up, and fold these down. And then you gotta get in here and untab this whole back section from the body like this. You get the arms out of the way a bit more. You fold this up like this, and due to that, this frees up this whole section, and the geometry for this is perfect to get the legs to fit together and tab. Just like, it's just so satisfying to watch this like come together. It's like, it's perfect. I definitely would try this out with some of my other Transformers. I know clearance issues are always a big problem. Oh, I forgot. First of all, you gotta, this part actually tabs into here, like, and then you gotta just take it out before you do that. Luckily nothing broke, but yeah, these two tabs are for vehicle mode, and this will help out in robot mode. And yeah, you split the legs. That's very nice. You fold this up, and this section will rotate on this hinge. And just bring this whole section down. Legs are a bit complicated. You rotate this. You rotate this down as far as possible so this little tile here will rest on the tread to help support. And then you rotate this section around, shift it in, fold it down. This will form as like knee armor. And then you take this section, fold it in, fold this in. And same for the other side. Rotate this out, shift this up, rotate this, and rotate that. His legs are one of the first things I've designed, and they came out pretty well. And you rotate this around, fold this in. You take this section, fold it in again. And just squeeze the two legs together, and it's gonna be a bit tall. Now for this section, you rotate the entire top section 180. Before you do that, you take these sections and fold them in. They help fill out his waist, which is cool. And you rotate this, and he has upper body, and to get his head to sit in the proper position, you just accordion that, and you put the arm sections in on this ratchet joint. And then you can mess with the chest, the little details. And this is kind of reminiscent of my older Transformers. A lot of things have to be rotated around, like little things, which kind of get annoying, but they're cool. You rotate this section, you fold it down, okay, fold it down. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Fill out the chest like that. And then you gotta rotate this around. And you gotta take this little spike, fold it out, rotate this, and fold this section in, and rotate this. A lot of ball joints and stuff. And you can kind of like make his hand have a second cannon like this, but this part actually just folds up like this. I couldn't find a way to put it somewhere else, or make the fingers form the cannon like the Voyager toy, which is very smart. And you got his fingers. And now for the backpack, this is probably one of my favorite parts. You get the roll bar pieces, and you fold this section in. Just like the legs, the geometry for this is pretty much perfect. You fold these sections down, and this section here will, okay, you fold this back again. This section will collapse down. This is the top of the tank, and this section will go down, and the whole section here actually fold in on itself and kind of sink into the body. And then now you got the thrusters onto his back, just like the actual, like the leader toy, which is accurate. And you kind of wiggle them. Oh, you gotta shift these parts out so they're flat. Then you gotta, okay, this little stud will tab right into the things that were on the side of his heads, and like that. And there you go. Here's his whole back, and yep, Megatron's done. And here's Megatron in his robot mode. And once again, this is my favorite Megatron design. Something about it just so like imposing, and it's really iconic now. And shame Revenge of the Fallen's like the last movie. Megatron was taken pretty seriously. After that, he kind of became a joke. Yeah, so I just love the design. I think I did a very nice job. One thing I could complain about is like the shoulders. They could have been bigger, but obviously, yeah, they could have. It would affect vehicle mode. And to start with his head, it is actually pretty much the same thing as my first movie, Megatron's head, because I really like how that turned out. And his head's pretty much the same thing in this movie, it's just more spikier. And yeah, turning him around. Yeah, wow. He doesn't have like any kibble on him whatsoever. He's really clean, and vehicle mode sacrifices a lot for that. The only thing that could be considered kibble is like the tank barrel here. I couldn't find anywhere to put that, and yeah. Start with articulation. This shoulders can move. He has a pretty nice range, and his arms are articulated at 2 points. And his claw can open and close. Same for the top one. And this is the small arm. The size difference isn't as bad as the Revenge of the Fallen leader toy. And he got all his 4 fingers. I'm pretty sure he has 4 fingers. He kind of grab things. And for the legs, it's a bit annoying because like the treads will move around sometimes. You use like 2 sets of ball joints here, and you get to move the armor piece wherever you want. The problem is this tread will kind of split away sometimes with too much like weight. And let's end this video with some size comparisons, of course. There can be quite a lot of them. First we have his Moo, the best figure. I love this figure so much, and yeah. And as you can see, the drawback to having a nice clean tank mode is having a big backpack. And then let's bring in Ravage, and a minifigure, and Scalpel. There. These two aren't scaled the size, but whatever. You have a little gang here. And here we have is a treacherous friend, Starscream. I think Starscream should be a bit bigger. I think my Starscream's a bit small. And he's also missing an arm, which I could not find, which is kind of funny because you can replicate the scene where they're on top of that building, and yeah, except the wrong arm. I think this arm is the one that came off, and Megatron could like step on Starscream and be like, "I couldn't trust you to swat like a simple insect" or something. I think that's what he said. And we also have the Last Night Megatron, which is my second favorite Megatron design. And yeah, wow, he's changed quite a lot. He's much smoother in this design and more angular in this one. And he definitely looks big, like chubbier. Yeah. And I think they look great together. And finally, here's the one I've been waiting for a while. Here he is with movie Optimus Prime, his nemesis. And yeah, it's been a while since I had this guy paired up with a Megatron, which was right after I built him with the first movie Megatron. And that was like 3 years ago. Wow, that's quite some time. And these two will look great at Brick Fair next year if I can go. I'm still not sure. And yeah, this should be it for this video. I really like how Megatron turned out. Not only because I enjoy his design, but just his transformation and everything. Maybe not vehicle mode, but yeah, I could definitely say he's one of my favorites I made this year. Yeah, that should be it for this video. I promise I'm going back to school tomorrow, so I won't be able to work on any new Transformers, but I did promise I would make Dreadbot, Megatron, and Optimus's instruction videos from the last night, but I just haven't had time. I've been really busy, and maybe I'll have time this half semester. And yeah, I'm not sure who I'm gonna do next. I can make whoever I want from Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. I definitely been thinking about maybe like the Fallen or some Constructicons, especially Rampage. And yeah, well, who knows? I can make anybody. Maybe even Wheelie since he's small. But yeah, this has been Arliss98. I think the next time we'll have a new Transformers probably by winter break, which is quite some time. And yeah, that should be it. See you guys in a while.